Welcome, welcome. It is season 5, episode 2. Paige is abroad. What the fuck? Where is Paige going? What is the itinerary? She doesn't know. Just kidding. She does know. I do have an outline, and every episode I'm gonna give you some recap on where the fuck I've been, what I've been up to, what country I'm visiting, where I'm staying, all the little juicy details. But before I get into that, I just want to acknowledge and honor myself that I've been in London now for 9-ish days. And you know when you're on vacation for like 9-ish days, and just by the time that you are like, oh, I'm just getting a hang of it, you leave? Well, I'm super grateful that I'm here for another 2 weeks. I committed to staying in a London flat for 3 weeks, and then I'm gonna go to Manchester, so England overall, for a month. And it's really my goal to be in a new country every month, at least 3 or so weeks a month, because just for that reason, right? You get to a new place and you're enjoying it, you're doing all the touristy things, and just when you're like, all right, I finally adjusted to the time, like the time zone and everything, you gotta leave. But nope, that's not the case here. So I'm really proud of myself for the duration that I'm staying and this loose itinerary that I have. So in this episode, I wanted to share some reflections, and I'll also ask you as well some of these questions that have been on my mind in terms of just where I'm at in this digital nomad place in my life, right? I've never done this before. I've never I have packed up all my shit and moved. I did that for Hawaii. I did that for for California, and now London. So but it's different this time because I don't have a home base. I don't have a place to put the pictures on the wall, essentially. So what is it like for Paige to literally be nomadic and not have a go-to home place? Yes, I have Colorado as because I'm still a U.S. citizen, sure, but I don't have a home. And so London lesson number 1 I really wanted to talk about here is that I have visited London once in my life. My mom, when I was in grad school, and when Trump got elected, that was the very first year of grad school, 2016. And I was expected to graduate 2019. And since Trump and everything, we weren't really sure what was going on in the world. We, is it safe to travel, etc. So my mom bought me an early graduation present in 2018 to London and Paris for the first time. And because I've never been overseas like that before. And so it was a really great trip. My mom and we did 9 days, London and Paris, and it was so much fun. And when I arrived in London, yes, I was only there for a very short time, and we did some very traditional tourist things like the Tower of London, Buckingham Palace, London Eye. We stayed at Covent Garden. So I enjoyed my time in London, and I just fucking knew. I just had this when you land in a city or a place and you're like, yeah, I could live here. This is amazing. And also, side note, I've never been to New York before. I've really never been in a really busy, populated, intense city. So it was kind of giving me New York vibes, but with fucking accents and cars on the other side of the street. But when I was in London, even for that short period of time on vacation, I was like, this place is dope as hell. I really want to explore this and be here longer. So London lesson number 1 that I want to reflect is I feel like just being here for 9 days so far and exploring the city, I'm taking the tube a lot, right? The underground train. And I live very close to one of the stations, near basically West London. And so it just takes me 30 minutes to get to central London. And I've been taking the tube a lot. And when you take the tube, it's very meditative, you know? It's like you're alone with your thoughts. Yes, you're surrounded by people, but like, I don't know. There's something very meditative about taking the train. And I've really processed that I finally feel like a childhood wound has been healed. Because since I was a kid, I'm getting actually teary just like thinking about it. Since I was a kid, I've really wanted to be an adult very quickly. I'm talking about like me at 5 years old having, my parents like gave me introduced me like how to have a savings account, like really quickly. Not only did my parents treat me like an adult or expose me to a lot of adult things, time management, scheduling, all this stuff, money, practices, all this, but I was just I had such an itch to grow up. I wanted my own place. I wanted my own autonomy. I was just in such a rush to grow up. And I watched a lot of movies, right? I watched a lot of TV, and I looked at like magazines and books, and I would fantasize about when I was like literally 5, when I was a kid, I would think about adult Paige. I couldn't conceptualize what she would look like or what adult Paige would do for work or any of those details. But I was like, as a kid, I just so badly wanted to be a fucking adult. I also knew very young, maybe like 6, 7, 8 years old, I knew that I didn't have any rights. Children, in America, 18 and under, you are a minor. You do not have a say. You do not have rights. And everything is by your guardians. Now, for me, yes, like I said before, like I feel like I was already mature for my age, and my parents instilled me a lot of like values and beliefs of like adults to be an adult. But they taught me responsibilities really early on. I was dancing pretty much every single day. I had to keep my grades up, all the things, right? So in that case, I was a grown-up. But I guess why I'm saying this is like being in London when you're just like, granted, this isn't like a really, really foreign place to me. Like they speak English. There's a lot of similarities to America, but still like there's something about London that like it feels familiar and different at the same time. And when you first get on the tube, yeah, thank God it's English, but like when you first get on the tube and you're looking at like Google and you're looking at the maps and you're like, oh shit, where do I go? That kind of like anxiety of like being in a new place. But like there's nothing more adult when you figure it out and when you are like really overwhelmed and like frantic and scared. But then like you take the train, you are on the right route, and then you fucking make it to your destination. Like, I don't know, it was something like just really fulfilling this whole week of like finding my way. And I've been a lot better at just not even looking at Google Maps, like just trusting my intuition of direction. And I say all this because that childhood wound of like, damn, Paige, I just want you to like be an adult. I feel like an adult right now. I feel like I'm in charge of my fucking life. There's something about being just in a city here that makes me feel like an adult. You have to make quick decisions for your safety, for your time, money, people you meet, all that, right? And so just walking the streets with confidence, I feel really elevated here. And also, I can't not say, like I have to say too, I feel like when you travel, you could really be anyone you want to be. You could share whatever story you want to share because nobody knows you. No one knows your name. No one knows your history. I could say my name is Malia, which is my middle name. I could just introduce myself as Malia from now on and no one would fucking bat an eye, right? So yeah, there's just something so rich and really fucking cool that I've just like been witnessing in myself of like, I'm growing my confidence. Traveling forces you to kind of grow the fuck up very quickly and get in tune with yourself. And there's just something about this city that's just a really cool vibe. And I just think that little Paige is really happy and proud of the Paige I am today because I'm doing the fucking thing. I'm calling the shots in my life. I'm making these decisions, not only what I'm going to eat at a restaurant tomorrow or where the train is going to take me to or the next country I'm going to visit or the next person I'm going to meet. But like, this brings me up to just like wrap up this episode and share this lesson with you. Do you feel like you are calling the shots in your life? Do you feel like you have a sense of autonomy? What is it about your life that makes you feel like an adult? When was the first time you ever felt like an adult? Was it when you legally turned 18 or 21? Was there a milestone mark that you're like, yep, I'm an adult? Did you feel like an adult when you were a teenager? Like, reflect a little bit on this idea of being an adult and where are you at with the responsibilities and just like handling your life? Do you truly feel like you're calling the shots of your life? Do you feel like you are in control? Or are you surrendering? Like, what is that process like for you? If you do feel like you're calling the shots in your life, how can you celebrate that? How can you fucking be like, yes, I'm fucking doing this. I'm stoked. Like, how can you celebrate that more? If you don't feel like you're calling the shots in your life, well, what's holding you back? What are the limiting beliefs around that? So I challenge you to think about that. And next episode, I will share more juicy details about my journey and where Paige is off to next in her abroad journey. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others. Post about it on social media or head over to your favorite podcast platform to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Subscribing and posting a review helps to improve engagement and is essential for the podcast to be discovered by new listeners. Thanks again for listening, and remember, every day provides a lesson. Take care.